Hey, Shalom Alaikum to Rakam Akapash from Jim Islam, giving all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chachwadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful elect, pushing his truth in all sincerity. Back here again with another video, got another article here from Sky News, and it's entitled NATO Must Shift to Wartime Mindset, Secretary General warns. Right? And we're in that season, man. Okay, we're definitely in the end times, man. All these nations, man, all they're doing is prepping for war. They all know it. They all know war's on the horizon, man. That is the spirit that is out here in the earth, man. Because the Lord is preparing that third woe, right? The first and the second have already passed, right? And they're coming for third woe quickly, right? That is the third world war that's gonna occur, right? And these people, they know it. They know it in their bones. They know it, and they know it's coming. And so they're having to prepare for it. All right. And like I said, these are all just signs, signs of the prophecies manifesting. Right. So we keep track of these things. All right. But the wars and rumors of wars, that's written in Matthew chapter 24, right? This is all just that, but eventually this all has to come to pass. At some point, it won't be just rumors no more. It won't be just talk, right? It'll actually be going on, right? Because scriptures have to manifest, right? The war of Armageddon has to take place, okay, in the valley of Jehoshaphat, right? And that's what all these nations are ultimately preparing for, right? And they're using Russia as Gog and Magog. It's in the scriptures too, right? Russia is Gog and Magog. All right, so they're preparing war, okay, NATO, which is headed by America, okay, which is Babylon the Great, right? They're here to make war with Russia and their allies, okay? But the fighting is going to be done in the Middle East because you got the small hats, right, who are a tribe of Esau, okay, the Amalekites, okay, causing a shitstorm down there, all right? And they're going to draw those armies down there, okay, to have this long-awaited beef, have this long-awaited fight, But anyway, let me read some of this article and grab some scriptures. It says Russia is preparing for long-term confrontation with Ukraine and with us, right? Mark Rutte said, adding, we are not ready for what is coming our way in 4 to 5 years, right? So he's stirring the fear pot, right? Saying we need to prepare because we're not ready. So what does that mean? We need to spend more money. We need more money. We need more military personnel. We need more of this, more of that. We need more greater funding, right? To prepare for this war. Right? So they're prepping for warfare just like every other nation on the planet seems to be doing. Like I said, that is the spirit that is out there in the world right now because, hey, that's the time we're in. Okay, time of prophecy that we're in, right? It says the head of NATO has warned the alliance is not ready for the threats it will face from Russia in the coming years, and that it is time to shift to a wartime mindset. Okay, aggressive, even though these men have been aggressive already, but they're gonna up it even more, right? They're gonna resist Russia even more, press Russia more, press Iran more, because they're all gonna link in. You got the small hats down there blowing up shit in Syria. They just ousted Assad out of the country. Bombing all kinds of different places, right? Putting pressure down there, bringing pressure in the Middle East down there. Iran and all that kind of stuff. So, it's all being, the stage is being made ready. All right. Says Mark Rutte, the Secretary General of the organization, said NATO members had spent more than 3% of GDP on defense during the Cold War, and argues future spending would have to be much higher than the alliance's current target of 2%. So they want to go back, right? And that kind of reminds me of Ezekiel 38, which I'm going to read in a bit. Russia's hooks are, the hooks are in Russia's jaw to turn them back, right, into this war mentality, right? And they might have to go back into that Cold War state where they were at conflict with one another, right? And so they're going to, what they want to, what he's saying what they should do is spend more money, than the 2% they're currently spending. They should raise it up to 3%, or back or more, Russia is preparing for long-time confrontation with Ukraine and with us, Mr. Rudd said during a speech in Brussels. It's like, all right, got gas. Right, so we are not ready for what's coming in our way in the next 4 to 5 years. He added, it is time to shift to a wartime mindset and turbocharge our defense production and defense spending. Told you. It all boils down to money, man. Right? And these NATO nations, and I'll be real, most of them are fucking struggling. Fucking struggling financially, man. UK, well, okay. Well, yeah, UK is still part of NATO because UK did the Brexit, so it's not technically classified as part of Europe anymore, but they're still part of NATO, right? Our countries are struggling, man. Man can't run the country. The country's falling to pieces, right? And we're meant to be one of the better nations, the stronger nations, But it's the same with these other nations. They're actually fucking struggling financially. Everything's falling apart. I mean, it was heading that way anyway, but the whole CV era, man, that kind of all fucked them, man, because of the energy crisis and that. We're still paying high energy bills and all kinds of shit. It's just, it hasn't really stopped. Inflation is still, still kind of high, and all these kinds of things, duty taxes and all these other taxes, the fucking government taking allowances away from people. It's all kind of crazy, right? So these nations are already struggling, and yet they want them to use more money, taxpayers' money, budget money, right, to go into weaponry and warfare, which means it's going to suck away from the people, right, the public, right, which means their lives are going to be increased or made worse, right, from that, right. That's what that ultimately means, right, because everything has a knock-on effect. Everything's swings and roundabouts, right, because the country's finances is not infinite, right? And so for them to increase spending in one area, they got to take spending away from another area, whether that be healthcare, education, wherever the case may be, because they'll just take from it all, right, and leave everybody else in the shit, LNG, whatever, they'll just do it. They thought, but we need to protect Ukraine, or we need to fight Russia, so we have to do this. Hard times, we make hard decisions. Yeah, that's that dragon speaking. He's like, fuck you, right? We're gonna build some nukes. We're gonna build some nukes. We're gonna build some missiles and fucking, to destroy people while you suffer in the cold in winter and all that type of shit. When you can't afford bread because it's, people had to get fired or whatever, because you have to shut businesses. It's just. It's crazy, man. But that's what they're talking. They don't give a shit. Bigger things at play for them in it. So, but reading back here, it says, Mr. Rudd said the current security situation was the worst in my lifetime. Right? So NATO leaders agreed to end the defense cuts that began when the Cold War ended after Russia annexed Ukraine's Crimean Peninsula a decade ago. Right? It's been like 10 years already. It's crazy. Time flies, man. That is crazy. Moving towards spending 2% of GDP on their military budgets. Right, but since Russia invaded Ukraine almost 3 years ago, they have agreed the 2% target should be the minimum for this defense spending. Right, remember not too long ago, well, like 4 years ago, Trump was down there cursing man out because the man wasn't spending enough money into NATO. Right, they weren't pulling their weight. Right. And now they got the whole Russia-Ukraine thing, and now they want to up the budget and spend more, right? Because they feel like, Russia's gonna come and invade the rest of Europe, bro. You would have been alright if you wasn't poking the bear in the first place. But since Russia invaded Ukraine almost 3 years ago, they've agreed the 2% target should be the minimum for the defense spending. While the alliance meets that target collectively, around a third of its members do not hit individually. Right, so some are making up for others, because some of them are partly weak and partly strong, right? As referring to the statue in Daniel's dream, right? You had the feet of iron and clay, right? The 10 toes are part iron, part clay, partly broken, partly strong, right? That's what it is in Europe. These NATO members, not all of them are strong, not all of them, financially adequate or what's what I was really looking for? Some of them really inept, right? They're weak, right? But the other nations kind of prop it up. Okay, you got the pigs nations, okay, which is Portugal, Italy, Ireland, where was I? Greece and Spain, right? They're more known to be weaker nations of NATO or Europe, all right, but they are bolstered by the other members, you know. So guys, yeah, it says that they don't hit individually. So at least 23 of its 32 members will meet the 2% target this year, the ally estimates. Oh, here we go. Donald Trump being mentioned. US President-elect Donald Trump, who assumes office on the 20th of January, has threatened that the US will not defend delinquent countries, delinquent, that do not spend enough on their defenses, right? Because America spends way more than everybody else, because they can, right? NATO is really America's child, this weapon, right? That's the whore that sits on the beast. America sits on that beast. The beast is NATO, NATO, the EU, right? And so, you know, this is why ultimately they're gonna end up hating the whole, because America is just, you know, playing hard ass with them, basically. You know, not treating them right. You know, people coming down hard on them and shit. So we'll not defend delinquent countries that do not spend enough on their defenses, because America got to do the bulk of the work. So the alliance is founded on the principle that an attack on one member is considered an attack on them all, and Mr. Trump's comments raised fears over whether the US would act to help in a crisis. Mr. Rutte, a former Dutch Prime Minister, called on NATO members to stop creating barriers between each other and between industries, banks, and pension funds. In a message to the defense industry, he said, "There is money on the table and it will only increase. So dare to innovate and take risks." You'd be taking risks, all right. Mr. Rutte also warned of a coordinated campaign to destabilize our societies, which included cyber attacks and assassination attempts. He also said NATO must be clear-eyed about China's ambitions and cautioned Beijing is building up its forces with no transparency and no limitations and bullying Taiwan and they're friends with Russia. So yeah, that's not really a fight you really want, to be honest. You better make some peace treaties or some shit. But no, that's not what's gonna happen, right? And we don't want that to happen anyway, right? We want them to go to war, right? We want to get this thing done, right? We want to see all these nations, you know, get destroyed, man. Okay, we want to see that, right? Because they could make peace treaties, because that would be the smart thing to do. Same with this whole Ukraine situation. Diplomacy should have won the day, but no, they decided to go for war. But like I said, that is the time we're in. We're in that spirit of war in this world, man. That's the spirit that's in this earth right now, right? And it's gonna continue until this place is destroyed. You know, so this is from Jeremiah 49 verse 14. It says, "I have heard a rumor from the Lord, from the Most High Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, Gather ye together and come against her and rise up to the battle." Right? So in the minds of all these, you know, generals and these politicians or whatever, right? In their minds is being put in this urgency to prepare for war. Right? And this is why they're all behaving in that way. Right? They understand that they need to up their defenses. Well, I say defenses, but you know, these things are really offensive, right? They need to up it up, spend more, no matter the cost, no matter if Granny dies in winter, you know, no matter what it costs to the public, you know, that's what it's gonna be, right? That's what's been happening in all these nations, man. They're all taking money from elsewhere and putting it more into warfare. Now, how much better would society be if, like, people didn't have to spend money on war? How much more money would they have to help, you know, help society and do, you know, improve the healthcare and shit like that? But no, we're just, you know, these nations are just gonna spend more money on warfare and fuck everything else, because warfare is the most important thing right now, because that is the spirit that they're in, because of this very thing here, the scripture that we're reading here, right? And verse 15 is going into Esau, right? "For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men." Thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and the pride of thy heart, O that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. Right. So this is going into America first and foremost. Right. America is at the top. Right. Again, it's the spearhead of NATO. It's the top of NATO. Right. NATO is their army, ultimately. Right. And with it, combined, they're a mighty force upon the earth. All right. But they're gonna get taken out. Right. Also, Eden shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished. America is only going to be destroyed at the end of this World War III. Okay, by thermonuclear weapons. Being shot by Russia, being shot even by their own allies, because even the scriptures say the beast shall hate the whore. Okay, the NATO members, the allies of America, right, because of past dealings and America's stance against NATO, eventually they're going to turn around and just say, F America, man. Okay, this is because of you. All right, so that's going to happen, right? That's what's going to happen, right? So they're preparing for war, really just to destroy their own allies, with basically, right? As in the overthrow. Did I finish 17? Also, Eden shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. Right? Again, America is going to be completely destroyed. Okay, by the end of all of this. I'll come back to that. Right, so it's Joel chapter 3, verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Right? And this is exactly what these men are saying. We need to prepare for war. Right? Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Right? But they're not going to fight. Ukraine is not the battlefield. Right? That's that skirmish going on between Russia and Ukraine right now. That's true. Right? And they're always citing Russia this and Russia that, because of Ukraine this and Ukraine that. But, okay, we know a whole bunch of shit's going down in the Middle East also. Right? And these small hats are just causing a lot of problems down there for no fucking reason. Right? But that is the place of prophecy. That is why that shit's going down. Right? Iran and the tensions between Iran and Israel is always increasing. Right? But that day is coming. Okay, where someone's going to attack somebody, and it's just going to blow out of proportion, and it's going to drag nations down there to sort it out. Right? All these nations have got allies and pacts with one another, right? So it's going to cause them to go down there and fight in that region. Okay? And that is what we're going to ultimately see, right? But it goes on to say, it says, let all men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, right? And your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong, right? So traditionally before this this war mindset that this world has been displaying of recent times, things would be more, you'd spend more your budgets and stuff on agriculture and things that actually help build societies, that build the people, that help the people. Like I said, whether it be healthcare or whatever the case may be, right? But these all these nations have been spending more and more in getting into debt, right, for warfare, to be able to buy and purchase weapons, building weapons, building nuclear facilities for weapons and all this kind of stuff, right? That's what they've put their focus more into. And like I said, putting money into one thing is taking money from somewhere else that you could have used for something else. And this is why it's just crazy. You got a whole fucking space program in America, right? But America's fucked. Like, you really don't need a space program. You don't really need it. But they're gonna spend their money on the space programs and shit. They're gonna spend a hell of a lot of money on shit that doesn't really benefit the people. Like I said, America's fucked up, man. And America needs sorting that, but they just won't do that. And they'll just continuously go into debt for their, for those types of endeavors. You know. Anyway, he says, I'll read it again. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Okay, weapons. Let the weak say, I am strong. Right. So even these weaker nations, they're all, partnering up with other nations and allies and stuff like that. Trading technology and resources and all these types of things, man, to make them stronger, to make them somewhat formidable, right? Because before, it was only America that had the big guns. Right now, other nations have been, cashing up on them, gaining ground on them because they've been given, different technologies and developing different technologies and stuff. These men ain't running around with swords anymore. Because that whole sword versus gun battle, but that was over a long time ago. When Esau come through with the sword, come through with the gun, these men with swords stood no chance, and it's been like that for a long time. Esau's always had the bigger, better weapons, because that's his blessing, right? So man running with swords and horses and shit, they ain't doing shit. You need tanks now, right? You need fucking aircraft now. You need missiles, you need nukes and stuff like that. That's what they needed, and now they've had the they're at the point of being able to, they've got these things now, because they've invested time and made deals and partnerships with other nations that that are further ahead than them so that's what they've been doing. All right. Let Verse 11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Come down where? Reading on, it says, verse 12, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Right, that is where really this war is going to be at. The bulk of the war is going to be at here. Yes, it's a world war. All these nations are going to be there, but there's things, there's going to be things going on around the world. But the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is in the Middle East, that is where, that is the main venue, so to speak, of that war, right? For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about, because they're all going to be brought down. Come on down, right? Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. Right? Because Jehoshaphat means, in Hebrew, it's Yahweh Shaphat, okay, which means Yahweh's judgment, right? Where he decides, right? And, like I said, they're there because of wickedness, right? So they're all going to be destroyed. That's their judgment, So that's what that's what they're preparing for, unbeknownst to them, Let's see. So I mentioned this earlier, right? Jeremiah 49 verse 20. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Edom, okay, who is a so-called white man, and his purposes that he have purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, right? So these small hats, these Amalekites, play an important role in what's going to transpire down there, okay, which they've been causing a stir of late, right? And so that's gonna become something that comes out of control. So that, and surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them, right? So the land of Israel, that's gonna get fucked up too, man. Okay, the only difference being is that after Israel's been fucked up by nukes and missiles and whatever, right, set on fire. Okay, we're gonna go back in that land and establish it. Okay, but America is gonna remain destroyed and deserted. All right. Is Revelation chapter 6 verse 4 said, and they went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat upon to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword, right? All Esau's ever doing is creating war upon the earth, right? And this is why this is a befitting way he's going to be destroyed, man, because he's supposed to have the upper hand in these matters, right? But he's gonna end up being destroyed on the next level, right? These other nations, man, they're gonna be around, but America is gonna be destroyed. Okay, and America is supposed to be the mightiest nation, right? But that's gonna take the biggest L in history, This is Ezekiel 28 verse 1. Says, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, right, which is Russia, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord God Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Right, so like I mentioned earlier, Russia's being brought back into a warlike mentality too. Since the Cold War, kind of things, kind of went quiet, and supposed deals were done and treaties and what was that treaty called? The nuclear proliferation treaty. Where they were gonna stop the production of nukes or dismantle their nukes and all this kind of stuff. But then that went sour because America was just acting like a dickhead, like they always do, right? And so yeah, it's brought back animosity between these two nations, and things have transpired since then. And now Russia's in Ukraine because NATO has been ever encroaching on its borders. Putting military equipment, in the nations surrounding Russia. Okay, and Russia didn't like that, right? So this is how we've gotten to this point, and so Russia's in a war mentality, right? Design all kinds of missile technology to defeat America. Basically, ultimately, that's really what they're preparing for. It's not really for Ukraine. Ukraine's nobody. Really, they've been designing these missiles and all this kind of stuff to really take out NATO or to fight NATO and to fight America, which is part of NATO, right? So they've been heavily invested in missile technology to be able to counteract their fighter jets and their destroyers and stuff like that, aircraft carriers and stuff like that, and other things, and and to get past their missile defense systems and whatever, right? That's what they've been investing in. Okay, not so much the aircraft carriers and the jets that Esau's always investing in, because he's fighting. He goes out, leaves home to fight war, right? He doesn't fight war at home, right? That's why he got to fly to all these different fucking places and to bomb shit. That's what he does. He's the prince and power of the air. But yeah, so Russia not really been focused on that, right? So they've been heavily into their missile technology, and that's what they've been helping these other nations with, with missile defense systems and missiles and all that kind of stuff, right? Verse 5 says Persia, which is Iran, okay, because they're allies, Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all these bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all these bands and many people with thee. Right, so Russia's been accumulating allies. Okay, they help form the BRICS nations. All right, so they got strong ties with China. So they're all gonna be basically in agreement with one another when it comes to this war. They're gonna be together on one side, and America and NATO, Europe, they're gonna be on the other side pretty much, right? And you're gonna have some nations flip flop in between, as happens in history during World War, especially with Italy and stuff like that. They flip flopped. You're gonna have people leaving them and joining Russia in the fight and whatever. Maybe even vice versa, but says Gomer and all these bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all these bands and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Right. So Russia's been helping these weaker nations build up. Right. Same with China. Right. And so they stand a far better chance than what they would have done if they had not helped them. Right. That's why the weak are now saying they are strong, because they're being backed by powerful players. Right. And now when America or Esau goes down in the Middle East, it's not so straightforward. Things are not so straightforward, man. Because now they're getting around to the big boys, Iran and stuff. It's just not going to be that straightforward when they try and do Iran, So that's like I said, that's going to spiral out of hand, But that's what's been going on. Like I said, everybody's in this war mentality, right? Because that's just simply the time that we're in. And I'm going to close out with this. back here in Joel 3 and verse 2. What's over the top, right? So behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel. Right? So the whole reason why the Most High is putting that spirit out there is really to fuck up all you nations for what you've done to his people. Right? The same way the Lord has always dealt with the nations that harmed his people, his children. Right? And so he's bringing you all into one location and just gonna send judgment upon you, man. He's gonna have you just destroy each other. All right. So I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Okay. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine that they may drink. So then, yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried right. You have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, that you might remove them far from their border. Right. So everyone's involved. Everyone's been involved in the destruction of our people, and thieving from us, taking from us. Right. That's why you're all being gathered. Okay. None of these nations are innocent. Okay. So you're being brought down there to be destroyed. So behold, I will raise them up out of the place where you have sold them. Okay, he's talking about the elect now, and will return your recompense upon your own head. Right. So the elect ain't gonna suffer, but the rest of everybody else is gonna suffer. I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah. Right. So, it's like we keep telling you, man, you're gonna be sold into slavery unto us. Because the nation will be given to us for an inheritance, as is our Lord Yahweh Shai's. Right. I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord hath spoken it. Right, and I've already read verse 9 downwards. Right, so again, that's just what's going on right now. The Lord's put the spirit upon these guys to prepare for this war, and they keep they're saying 4 to 5 years, but let's be honest, it sounds like something that's going to come sooner than that. The Lord wouldn't does. Because what they're saying, they're going to let this carry on, the Ukraine and Russia thing carry on for another 4 to 5 years? Don't know. And like I said, things are kind of, because it's not the only prophecy we keep an eye on. There's all kinds of prophecies, coming together, the MOTB and, societal collapses. You've got Trump in office coming January 20th. So we're going to see how this all plays out, man. But welcome news nonetheless. Right. But yeah, so I'm going to end it there. Lord willing, this has been edifying, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video. Till next time, I say shalom.